You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the July 5th, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting for Wednesday, July 5th. If you can please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Latchford?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Mr. Glidden?
Here.
Mrs. Sperling?
Here.
The minutes from our June 21st meeting were prepared in advance and given to us. So unless anyone has any corrections or additions, we have a motion to approve.
I would move that we accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Any project updates or old business tonight?
No, sir.
All right, table business. There's one item listed on the agenda, but actually we have two. The first is approval of the 2024 budget capital request, and the second is we tabled it last meeting, the Bolt for the Heart sign request. So do we have a motion to untable those two items?
Both of them at the same time.
To untable them both at the same time.
I'll move that we take the approval of the 2024 budget and capital request off the table, along with the sign Play for Jake family run.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, so the 2024 budget capital request. Comments or questions from the board?
Last time we talked about the issue of the gift shop, the $1 million. Yeah. So where are we at with that?
So they have given me some documentation. I have not gone through it all yet because I just got back from vacation today. So my suggestion would be that the board go ahead and approve the $1 million, and I will send out all this documentation to you. If you decide you want to pull it on July 19th, I still have plenty of time to take it out of the budget. It's difficult to add things in, but it's not hard to take them out before it goes to the controller and the mayor and the council.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you, so you were waiting for what information to?
So they had designs and drawings, floor plans, and estimated revenue. Just briefly, I looked over it before this meeting. They're guessing it could be paid off in 5 to 7 years. Just with the additional space, they would have more sales.
Okay.
But again, I haven't had time to review everything that they submitted and get that out to you guys.
Okay. So we'll be able to see that before the budget meeting, and we can take this off from the,
Yes.
if we desire to.
On the 19th,
Yeah.
your meeting on the 19th, you could remove the milk.
Okay.
But I will get you the information
Okay.
tomorrow. I just
Sounds
got
fair.
it all
Sure.
into the day today.
Okay, cool.
so.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon. Any other questions or comments about the budget and the approval process?
Phil. And just a quick comment to back up what Shannon said, the way she's trying to do that, to put it into the budget first, and then you can take it out later rather than wait until try to add something like that, is she's doing it the right way. It's much more difficult to add down the line. So you want to put your budget requests in there. And then if you want to pull it out, it's a lot easier to do that. And that's what the council does when we see the budget. It's where we can't add anything, but we can reduce.
Okay.
So that is the correct way to do it.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Brian.
I have a quick question. When will be the appropriate time for Jamie and her associates to justify or attempt to convince you that this is a good project?
So that's the documentation that I'll be sending out tomorrow.
Okay.
Nothing verbal, though?
Well, if she wants to, that's fine.
Here.
Good evening and welcome.
Hi. So I brought some of the staff who actually works the area. I know one big concern there is that it goes down to either Monkey Island or this project. We would love to see Monkey Island get done. Monkey Island is probably gonna look like a $2 million project. And that'll bring in gate revenue, but it won't help pay for itself as fast as a gift shop that can make revenue between the gift shop and the classroom space that we can do. Right now, we can't do any kind of rentals in the months of April and November in the classroom because we have no heat in that classroom. We have a waiting list, Julia does, and she can answer more questions if you have them, about 12 people to 20 people for zoo camps that we just can't fit in because the space we have now. So so we do the projections of what projects we go for based on what we can hopefully pay back the quickest. Right now, Sean is, she has documentation. Her storage unit contains some stuff in City Hall, some stuff is in a trailer, some stuff is in the splash park. Concession stand. She has no storage. She buys in bulk one time a year to get the sale at the discounts. So if we could probably make more money if we had more space to increase the stock we have. And like Shannon mentioned last time, one big thing we have in the photos that you'll see in Sean's documentation is we can only get about 20, 25 people in the gift shop at a time. So that means we have 800 kids. We lose a lot of schools that want to come in, especially to be all-inclusive for handicapped students and students that need more attention. We just don't have the space to do it. So between most school groups are on a time crunch trying to get to the zoo to get back to their bus. A lot of them just bypass the gift shop at all. And even the gift shop, we try to make sure there's items from your dollar stuff all the way up to your more expensive houseware stuff to meet all those needs. So yeah, but most of it is in Shannon's documents. We did put documents about the island, the plans for the island, our 5-year plan. And we got a statement from Sean, who couldn't be here because she's on vacation. And one about the classroom stuff. But if you have any questions that these guys can answer, one who works the gift shop, Becky does, and Julie, who does our zoo camps.
Okay, I do have a couple questions, and thanks for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. With the classes that come, the schools, that's kind of like the April, May timeframe, right?
April, May, then we have summer camps all through the summer. So we still have groups in the summertime, and we pick up a little bit in probably November. We have a few groups that still come through.
Okay, and when you said there's 800 kids, is that's not in a day, right?
Yeah, that's our max a day. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we're saying we can't, we even open the gates at 9:30 to get those groups in quicker.
Right.
To not affect our normal paying customers.
Yeah.
But we max it out at 800 reservations a day, but we can still have groups who show up without getting in the reservation group.
Yeah.
And our numbers will show in the report, the first quarter or second quarter report, the groups are starting to come back.
Right. Right. For sure. And they're like spaced out during the day, but it's still
not really. Most of them come at 9:30 to be gone by noon.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you want to come to the zoo in those 2 months, you want to go afternoon.
Yeah.
And these guys can tell you, and Pat, and just in parking, we have that lot full of buses. Especially the last 2 weeks of May, we every day is booked.
Yeah. Okay. And then so the last 2 weeks of May, that's the real crunch time. That's the really tough time.
That's the really tough time.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have rain dates.
Yeah.
So that might be their rain dates that come in those last 2 weeks. They get rained out earlier in the year.
Okay.
So
have you, and I know that there's obviously when there's rain, they're not there, but have you guys thought of doing like outdoor, like kiosks and things like that, where you can sell things that
would be an issue with staffing. And then once you get in storage, you can use storage for the cart for safety.
Yeah.
She started with a kiosk back in
95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we outgrew that space, and we just kind of outgrew.
Okay.
We actually outgrew this space, and we knocked out a conference room to make more space.
Okay.
So,
And then real quick on the classroom space, you said, because right now the classroom space is at the old one in the back.
Yep.
Right. That's always been there. Yeah.
I've done the front side now. We moved it to the front instead of the back because we have elderly people, birthday parties with a lot of supplies. So it's easier to take the kids down to the side is related to the bathroom
Okay.
for pickup.
And so that would expand by like how many, or like, there would be multiple rooms then, or it
Yes.
would be just
Well,
one
it'd be
bigger
one open
room?
space, there'd be two larger bathrooms for handicap accessibility, which
Mhm.
we have now. We have no bathrooms in Washington Park at all to address people who need assistance
Mhm.
in the restroom. So these restrooms would be open to not only to the classroom rentals, but also to the public who need
Mhm.
more space to take care of things.
Yeah, okay. So all that, the classroom, that projection will be in there too, right?
Yeah, basically.
And this will be, this includes everything like what we already do plus what you're projecting, or is this projection just for above and beyond what we already do?
It's both.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Jamie.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you for the extra information,
Thank
added
you.
color. It's very helpful to have that.
Yeah, it is.
I hope you
Along
get,
with
we'll be back
documentation.
19 to answer more questions.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
Any questions from the public? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
I move that we accept the proposed budget with the option to withdraw in what's our next meeting? It's like 14 and whatever, our next meeting.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
All right, the other item that we had tabled at our last meeting was a banner request for Washington Park. Mr. Shin?
Thank you, President Blatchford. Yes, this is a request via the police department because they're the ones who gain from the Bolt for Heart race by the defibrillators. I made an attempt to contact the organizer and didn't get a return call yet. I'm assuming that all of the money goes towards the defibrillators only. The park board asked if I would find out three things, and that would be the size of the banner, which you can see from the handout. It is 3 foot by 10 foot. The location, proposed location for the banner. Lisa and I decided that a good location would be in that corner of that triangle in front of the handicap accessible parking lot. You'll see from the aerial photo. And where the race actually will be held can be determined from the QR code because this sign has already been installed. So if you will agree, I recommend the approval of this banner in Washington Park for all the things that the police are doing to extend their forces securing our parks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Questions or comments?
Well, definitely I'd be able to see a sign that's 3 foot by 10 foot. I'm not sure the date. I don't see that.
That's correct. This is the way they wanted the sign, and the QR code gives more information. That would be the code on the top right of the sign.
So it says Franciscan Health on there, on the sign
They're a big sponsor.
for the race. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that kind of advertises them. Would they be willing to pay for that space? I mean, to advertise in the park?
I could certainly check.
I mean, I don't know if we can talk about it, but I think that's a little unfair that they get to put their name down at the Washington
Sure.
Park entrance for free.
Brought it to the board.
No, right. No, I appreciate that. It's just, I didn't expect that to be on there. Yeah.
Other questions or comments?
When I do contact, if this is the decision that is made, I'll be glad to contact them and ask them if they're willing to pay. Can the board decide what amount should be asked for?
Have we done this in the past? Have we had any advertising down at the lakefront before that people have paid for?
Not that I
Not that I'm-
I can't recall.
We don't have anything in our,
But typically, just stayed away from that.
Yeah, yeah,
We've had requests before and
Mhm.
just had not really. Because of all the
Yeah.
ancillary items that come up.
Right.
If you do it for one, how many, then
well,
it becomes a billboard, and do we want that?
yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of, that people might start asking about that. I mean, if we're gonna start doing that, which I think we've all agreed we're kind of against that, advertisements down there, but maybe it's something that we should look at too for revenue. I mean, maybe something tastefully could be done, but I mean, at this time, maybe do they have a banner that doesn't have the Franciscan Health name on there?
I checked.
How about that? Yeah.
The health organization, I know these things are expensive. Are they, or is there a way that they're perhaps helping the finance and reduce the cost of all these defibrillators that they want?
Oh, what is Franciscans? What do they do in this? I'm not sure exactly, being a sponsor, what they do for this,
Okay,
but I can find out.
I just know those things are expensive. You're talking about getting a good number of them.
Now, Franciscan, one caveat, maybe they are not-for-profit. So if that has any bearing in this decision, just as an FYI. Any other questions or comments? Questions from the public? All right, so I guess our options are maybe to table it until we get some more information. I don't know if we have any other, or just deny it. But I'm open for any recommendations, suggestions.
Well, I'm okay for tabling it. I mean, I'd hate to deny it. I mean, I'm in favor of the sign, because of what we talked about at the last meeting. Yeah, I just don't want to open up something that, could lead to something else.
And the race is until September, so it's not as if this is an
Exactly.
urgent matter.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah, I would agree with the tabling. I don't want to deny it. This is really
Yeah,
a great
right.
thing,
For sure.
especially if you know the story behind it.
Exactly.
I'll find out these items.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you, Ed.
It's a quick question. Now, I know, like you said, you don't want to have a bunch of people just being able to advertise and put, signs at the entrance. But have there been events before in the park, where they've advertised their event and they've had sponsors before on that event sign, but not be able to just
Pretty much all of the events down there, especially if they're nonprofit fundraisers,
right?
because they need sponsors to host the event.
So they just shout out the sponsor on their sign of the event. It's kind of what this is. That's what I'm.
For instance, Pride Fest and Juneteenth, if you went to any
Right.
of those, yes, their sponsors are definitely advertised.
The boat race.
Because I was wondering if those was falling into the
They're-
same category.
Well, but they're advertised the day of the event, right? They're not advertised for 3 months.
The day of the event.
So that's a little bit different too, Yeah. I could definitely see it the day of. Absolutely. Yeah. But like with the sand sculpting contest, they all paid to have their names down there at the beach. A lot. So
We table to our next meeting, this Vote for the Heart banner.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, moving on to new business, we're resolution number 10009, excuse me. Unless there's an objection from the board, I'll read the preamble and then we'll vote on the purpose of it. But whereas the superintendent of the Department of the Parks and Recreation has reported that a certain transfer of funds are necessary within the budget of the Michigan City Department of Parks and Recreation because of unanticipated expenses from various accounts, which accounts do not have sufficient funds available for disbursement for said expenses, and whereas there are funds available for said expenses in various other accounts which are not expected to be paid from said accounts during the remainder of the budget year, and whereas the Michigan City Park and Recreation Board has determined that said expenses are necessary and that an account transfer should be made in order to meet said expenses. Now, therefore, be resolved that the following transfer be made from the following named accounts to the following named accounts for the purposes stated therein. Decrease fund, 2507 concession fund, seasonal wages, 10,000. And office supplies, 450. Increase fund, 2507 concession fund, other supplies, $10,000, and repair and maintenance, 450. Are there questions or comments about resolution number 1009? If none, do I have a motion to approve?
I would move we accept resolution 1009.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next item on the agenda is the golf course tee time booking policy.
Thank you, President Latchford. This policy was initially generated by our clubhouse golf manager, Marty Neiman. He has now brought it to my attention that there will be no need for this policy to come before the board. He would like to remove it from the agenda. There aren't enough cases that he needs to verify tee times, and would actually think that it would be a moot point and is not needed.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. So unless there are questions or comments, just would, I don't know what action would be needed by the board.
He plans to make a phone call to those folks who are from out of town that make tee times just to confirm 2 days in advance.
He's withdrawing it. We don't have to do anything. I had a question. The number of golf carts that we have. What is the total? I can't find my numbers.
I think he mentioned the other day that it was close to 100. It would be 84 at the large course and the balance would be over at the north course.
Okay, so I think that's where it was 85 and 15.
I think so.
Okay, thank you.
I understood it to be different. We're numbered up to 85 at the south, but the first 15 were not. I'm not sure about the 100s. I'll find out.
Yeah.
No, so there's 88 in our fleet, but I believe there's maybe 6 or 7 that aren't operational right now. So if the board remembers, we do a rotation to replace them, 22 carts at a time. We do 4-year rotation, so that's 88 carts. But I'm
So we
pretty sure
don't
that's
have
included.
100.
What's that?
We do not have 100 then.
We do not.
But that's why I question. I didn't think that number was correct.
Any other new business to attend to tonight?
No, sir.
All right, report of officers, superintendent's report, Mr. Shin.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
You're welcome.
First of all, I would like to commend the park department workers in all of the departments for their hard work and dedication at such a busy time of year. Also, I would like to mention that the cost of the concrete for the old Lighthouse Museum to install the sidewalk below the Eastland Monument was reduced by Ryan Stimley and his Vertical Concrete Construction Company by $22,000. He and his company also reduced his subcontract in the form of a donation for the Predator Ridge Big Cat exhibit in the amount of $30,000. Thank you to the Stimley family and staff. Youth baseball is running well. Further details will be in my second quarter report. The park department was asked to provide pickleball accessories to be added to the Michigan City area schools tennis court, as we have a good relationship with the area schools. We found it within our means to provide this for 2 courts, and the process of providing nets, Painting lines and asphalt crack filling will begin directly after the busiest time of the season. The senior center will be having a spaghetti dinner on July 27th from 4:30 till 7 p.m. The cost is $12. For more information, call the senior center. Splash pad. The splash pad has been open since July 1st. After all the work to convert the splash pad from a chemical recirculating system to a tap water effluent system, we are now able to provide this most wanted facility for all that visit our park. Washington Park was well attended on 4th of July last night. Fireworks display was well organized by event planner Terry Greetham. Parking and park maintenance staff managed vehicle and pedestrian traffic throughout the day and night. Police, fire, and EMS were all very organized. Kenny Parks, a former Parks employee, and the refuse department assisted park maintenance with cleaning Washington Park parking lots after the fireworks. Sad news that Peanut Bridge caught fire on 6/21. The fire department responded to the fire and were able to save most of the bridge. Some wood decking, railing, and deck supports were burned, but the underlying steel framework and supporting piling is undamaged. The cause of the fire cannot be determined. As far as vandalism, there was a porta potty at Gardena tipped over yesterday, and this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Questions, comments?
Ed, how's the splash pad progressing?
Splash pad looks very well. It looks like it's brand new to me. It was cleaned up. All the parts are working. There are a couple of bugs in some of the plumbing parts, but as I visited the splash pad, everybody was having fun. There had to be a dozen kids or more. And I heard that on opening day that there were constantly 10 or 12 kids throughout the day.
Mhm. Awesome. How's it going with the police down at the Washington Park, the extra police?
Lately, I have not gotten a report,
Mhm.
but I heard at the last report, I might have reported at the last meeting that policemen are offering to work the weeknights. But there have been no serious problems that I have seen. And it seems to be working
Good,
well. The police
good.
are doing a great job.
Yeah, we were there one night at Sunset Grill. And there was a police car just backed right into that.
Mhm.
Like when you first drive into that first spot, just kind of looking at the whole parking lot, that looked really nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So how does that work with us? How did they get paid? Do we reimburse the police station, or is that a separate, do they report to us that I'm working this night, or?
Shannon can probably answer that in more detail. I know that there was some money that was approved to be used by your board here.
Mhm.
And Shannon, if you could explain maybe how the policemen are getting paid from what account or.
Honestly, I don't know right now. So we did find some money through the controller's office. But I have not confirmed like what fund that's coming from yet.
Mhm.
So it was in our unappropriated balance, but they will send us monthly invoices
Oh.
for the overtime
Okay.
for up to, I think it was 70,000
Yeah.
is the amount.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shannon.
Any other questions or comments for the superintendent? All right, we will move on to the liaison reports. I'm the planning commission liaison, and we did have a meeting, but there was nothing pertaining to the park. Port Authority, Mr. Freeze,
Because of the holiday, their meeting will be next week.
and Zoological Society, Mr. Glid.
The Zoological Society has not had a meeting recently.
Thank you. Any report tonight from Assistant Hero?
No, nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any director's reports?
City Events Director Terry Greetham is here. I believe you wanted to speak to the board.
Good evening and welcome.
Well, good evening. Terry Greetham, Michigan City Special Events. I'd like to, I have a couple of requests I'd like to put in front of the board, but before I do that, I'd like to take a second to publicly thank and praise the park maintenance team. You all know the monumental job that they have every day, taking care of the parks, keeping them maintained and keeping everything running. And then a guy like me comes along and throws all these great ideas and these events and just makes their job that much harder and puts that much more on their plate. And they do it with a smile. They've done anything and everything we've asked of them, and even just gone above and beyond. So I wanted to thank and praise Pat Moltz and the entire maintenance team for everything that they do, because these events would not happen without that team. Next, I'd like to request approval of dates for events in 2024. I know it seems a little bit early for that, but in order to continue to grow these events, we need to start advertising and getting things out now. The dates I'd like to request for the Singing Sand Sculpting Festival are June 7th, 8th, and 9th, which are comparable to the dates that we had this year. And for Oktoberfest, it would be Labor Day weekend, August 30th and 31st, and September 1st and 2nd.
Thank you, Mr. Greetham. Shannon, as far as we know, do we currently have anything on those dates?
No, but I will double check tomorrow. We've already extended out our 2024 calendar to save the date more or less,
Okay.
for our returning events. So we'll check with Kayla in the morning.
Okay.
So likelihood, we can approve those dates if the board so chooses, contingent upon nothing else already taking position in those time slots.
Okay.
Any questions or comments from the board? All right, questions from the public? Seeing none. What's the pleasure of the board?
I would move that we tentatively save the dates June 7, 8, and 9. And October 30, 31, September 1 and 2.
August 30th, 31st, September 1 and 2.
Good thing I wrote August down.
It's called Oktoberfest, and I have it in September. Just
Okay. 31, September 1 and 2.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
thank you.
All right, good luck. Any other directors tonight?
No, sir.
All right, Department of Finances, Mr. Glidden.
The Michigan City Park Department claims docket for July 5th, 2023. Municipal, $53,885.42. Golf petty cash, $1,678.45. Total claims, $55,563.87. I would move to pay the claims docket for July 5th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's payroll 13, but I don't have it in front of me.
We can move on to
Gifts and donation. July 5th, 2023, gifts and donations. The Michigan City Exchange Club made a donation to the zoo to $200. I would move to accept that donation.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Minor transfers, concession fund 2507, decrease the amount of household supplies 1,000 and increase the amount for small tools 1,000. I would move that we make these minor transfers.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have the payroll for number 13, 2023, 6/11/23 to 6/24/23, pay date 6/30. The total payroll, $119,953.28. I would move that we make, pay the payroll number 13.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So no zooming down there, Board of Works or credit card charges.
There are no credit card charges.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Glidden. Any comments from the public tonight? Seeing none, any comments from the board?
just like to thank Terry and his crew and Pat and his group for the 4th of July festivities and all they did to make it possible.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze, and I would echo those comments of yours. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, our next meeting is Wednesday, July 19th, right here at 5 p.m. Motion to adjourn.
So move.